Hello, and welcome to the entry webinar for the 2015 North American Effie Awards, which also includes the Shopper Marketing Competition. This webinar will take you through basic entry information and requirements. The next webinar in this series will outline what judges are looking for in the written case and creative reel specifically. Just a brief overview, Effie has competitions all over the world, including regional competitions. If your work ran in countries outside the US and Canada, you may be eligible for those competitions, and you can find links to all of these partner organizations on our website. Now on to the North American competition. In the Effie Awards competition, any type of company is eligible to work. Advertisers may take the lead on submitting, agency of any type may submit. We encourage collaboration among the different partners in the effort to provide a more well-rounded submission. Entry deadlines for the North American and Shopper Marketing competitions run from mid-October through early November, and coming soon, the materials for the Global Effie and Positive Change Award will be available. Within the North American competition, there are over 60 categories, including several specialty categories like business challenges, specialty audiences, health, media. This year's awards will be held on June 4th in New York City. The Shopper Marketing Awards are presented in partnership with the Path to Purchase Institute. These categories were reorganized for this year's competition, so we now have 9 categories, and manufacturers and retailers may enter any category. These awards will be presented at the Path to Purchase's annual Shopper Summit in March 2015. An important thing to note that the Shopper Marketing Competition uses a different entry form and a different online entry area from the standard North American competition. So please be sure if you're entering Shopper, you're using those materials. The North American and Shopper Marketing competitions follow the same deadlines and fee structures. The entry fee increases as each deadline passes, and this year's deadlines range from October 14th through November 3rd. The deadline that you submit has no bearing on judging itself. Entries in the Good Works nonprofit category are offered a flat fee through the final entry deadline, and the cost is half of the first entry deadline. Also, our seasonal categories in both competitions have a later deadline schedule due to the eligibility period differences, which we'll get into shortly. A new entrant discount is available for those entrants who have not submitted cases into the 2012, 2013, or 2014 competitions. There's no discount code to enter. An Effie admin needs to manually enter the discount for each of your entries. So once you have your entry started in the online entry area, you can email Sarah Lee with your entry information, and she'll confirm that you are eligible, and then she'll apply the discount to your account. So this is a glimpse of our judging schedule and when you can hear back about the status of your case. Round 1 judging will kick off in mid-November and continue on through January. Entrants will find out if they're moving on to the final round of judging in early February. And final round judging happens in February and March, and in late March, finalists will find out whether or not they've won, as not all finalists become winners. Grand Effie judging will be happening the day of the awards gala, and that is June 4th. So the Shopper Marketing Awards are presented about 2.5 months before the North American Awards, so the Shopper schedule is shifted a bit earlier, with round 1 judging events happening in December, final round in January, and you'll be finding out your status of your case in early January. Winners will be announced in early February, with the awards presented on March 18th. Now we've come to eligibility. Any and all forms of consumer engagement and marketing communications are eligible. You can use any combination of mediums. There's no restrictions on how many you must use, and both B2B and B2C efforts are eligible across our categories. Your case must have run between September 1st, 2013 and August 31st, 2014. It's okay for your case to have started before this date, for it to continue on after. Maybe it only ran for a part of the eligibility period. That all is fine. However, you need to make sure that you don't include any results past the end of our eligibility period which for most categories is August 31st, 2014, with the exception of the seasonal categories that extend an additional month. Including results past the eligibility period is one of our top reasons for disqualification. In North America, you may enter one product or service category, but you may enter as many specialty categories as you qualify for. The shopper competition allows for an effort to be submitted into a maximum of 2 categories. And if you would like to enter both competitions, that's fine. Just be sure you follow the rules within each competition and use the appropriate entry materials for each competition. And additionally, if you are entering an effort into multiple categories, judges appreciate it when the appropriate customization is done for each category. In the final round of judging, you're going up against the other finalists in your category, so you need to make sure that your entry is speaking to that category definition. And some categories have specific requirements outlined that need to be addressed within the entries, or the judges will downscore your case. There are some restrictions on re-entering past winning work. Most importantly, gold winners cannot re-enter the same category that they won gold in the following year. For finalists, non-winners, silver and bronze winners can re-enter any category, unless you're in the David vs. Goliath category, in which you cannot enter the following year. Now a little bit more about categories. Again, we have a large number of categories. Here's a very brief glimpse at some of the product and service categories, and you can find a full listing in our entry kit or online. It's important to note the definitions that you see for the product and service categories are not limited to those products and services listed there. Those are examples of the types of products and services you may see in that category. We also have many specialty categories, including business challenges, specialty audiences, the media awards, and other categories that you can see here. And again, a full list is available in the entry kit and online on our website. Sustained success, shopper marketing, and global entries all require the use of a special entry form, so if you are entering those, please be sure you are using the appropriate entry materials. We have a few new categories in this year's competition. The Olympics marketing category has returned from 2013. We've added a seasonal marketing category, and our yearly topical category for 2015 is the World Cup. Both media and innovation and disease awareness and education are split into 2 separate subcategories. And in the shopper competition, category aisle reinvention was added as a new category. And as I mentioned earlier, the split between retailer and manufacturer categories is gone, and now both retailers and manufacturers can enter any category. Now I'll go through a quick rundown of the judging process. Effie looks for judges across all types of companies, traditional agencies, PR agencies, media, advertisers, and for people with a variety of disciplines, from strategy to creative to planning to media. Here you can see a breakdown of the 4 scoring sections. Your creative reel is part of the Bring the Idea to Life section. You can see that the results are weighted most heavily. Scoring is done anonymously, and all judges must sign confidentiality agreements and cannot remove case studies or any other materials from the judging room. Round 1 of judging takes place in cities across North America. Last year we visited 8 cities. We're still finalizing the cities that will be in this year, but we encourage you to apply to be a judge if you're interested. Each judge in round 1 views cases on a laptop and sees a random selection of cases across a variety of categories. Judges are prevented from scoring cases from their own company or from their direct competitors. And because judges are seeing between 10 and 15 7-page case studies in a judging session, clear and concise entries are very important. Finalists are judged in round 2 within their category. So one group of judges will all review the finalists in the travel category, for example. Judges discuss the cases in that category once they're done and will individually submit their scores. We do have specialty judging sessions for some of our categories, and you can see a quick snapshot of those here. If you do have expertise in any of these areas, you can apply to be a judge and note your expertise in those areas, and we'll try to get you on those juries if space allows. Grand contenders are chosen based on their scores in the final round. The highest scoring entries are considered, and grand judges meet on the day of the gala to determine the winner, and last year's winner was the Dove Real Beauty sketches. In each round of judging, judges are required to answer questions about each case they review, and at time of entry you're given the option to purchase an insight guide, which will allow you to receive this feedback after all judging is complete. There is a discount if you purchase the insight guide of time of entry, and after judging begins, the price will increase. As soon as the online entry area is opened, we encourage you to start your entry there so that we have record of your intent to enter and can contact you with any relevant competition updates. You can edit anything in your online entry area at any point until you click submit. There's some additional information requested in the online entry area that's not on the written form, so it's helpful to review this information in advance of the entry deadline so you give yourself some time to prepare. New to the online entry area this year, you will need to upload 2 to 3 web-ready images of your work to be used in the case study database if your case is a finalist or winner. Also this year, the authorization and verification form is now a document that is generated once you've completed all company and individual credits in the online entry area. This form pre-fills those credits, and an agency or client executive in a departmental or account leadership position needs to sign off on both the authorization of the entry and the confirmation that all credits are correct and final. This also notes that you understand the credit amendment policy so that Effie is sure to recognize all strategic partners appropriately. Credits cannot be removed or replaced after time of entry. If a second agency deserves equal recognition as your own, you may designate them as an additional lead agency. Similarly, if there's a second client on the case, you can also credit them. But if you don't include a second lead agency, you cannot add them after time of submission. What you list there is considered final. You can add contributing agencies after time of entry if you did not use all 5 spots, but the selection of whether or not an agency is considered a second lead agency is considered final. Many entrants are concerned about confidentiality. All judges sign confidentiality agreements and cannot remove materials from the judging room. Data may also be indexed if that provides more comfort. At time of entry, you'll also be given the option to select your publication permission setting for the written case. You may choose to allow Effie to publish your entry, publish an edited version, or to not publish ever. However, if your case is a finalist or a winner, your creative reel will be published. There should be no concern with this, as the results cannot be included in the reel and you're showing the work that ran in the marketplace. Confidential information should be kept to the written entry. In addition to the written entry, there are creative materials that need to be submitted as well. Your creative reel should show your creative work that ran in the marketplace. It needs to have at least one example of each integral communications touchpoint. You may only edit down video clips that are longer than 90 seconds, and this is because judges are looking to see how your work ran in the marketplace, so if something's edited, they're not getting the full experience. Judges also read your written case before watching the creative reel, so it's not encouraged to retell the story that was told in the written entry again in the reel. Judges are looking to review your creative work and are often frustrated when too much time is spent on setup and not enough time showing the examples of the work. Another top reason for DQ is including the results in the creative reel. Results, including social media metrics, must be kept to the written case. You may use voiceover and text to better explain your work. However, you do need to have the rights to everything that you include. Do not include any agency names or logos anywhere in your entry. This includes your video. And competitive work should also not be shown. This is for judges to view your work, not the competitors. You're required to upload 1 to 2 images of your work for use in round 1 judging. So this would be anything that your judges would benefit from seeing as a still image, maybe a newspaper print ad or something from a magazine. We also request files for publicity that will be used if your entry is a finalist or a winner. To wrap up, we'll look at some final words of wisdom. And for more of this sort of information, please review the advice from the jury document and our other webinar that focuses on the entry form. Be direct and concise, present information in a storytelling manner, source your data, and review all of the reasons for DQ. More entries than we would like come in with typos, so please double check for this as it leaves judges with a bad impression. It's critical to provide dates for all data presented in the entry and to provide context throughout the written entry form. Do not retrofit your objectives to match your results, and be sure to explain any familiar terms. If you don't have an answer for a question on the entry form, you need to write not applicable or no other factors for that question. You can't leave any questions blank. Judges may not have a background in your particular category, so it's important that you share context with them about what's unique to your marketplace and what is considered significant in your marketplace. Effie is an agency blind competition, so again, do not include any agency information on your entry form, your creative work, or in the sourcing of your data. You're encouraged to hold a mock judging session at your company to have your colleagues tell you where your entry is weak, confusing, where it falls in interest. It may also be helpful to reach out to past judges at your company for guidance. Reviewing past winning case studies may also help you understand what it takes to win and effective ways to present your data. Complementary case studies are provided in the entry materials, and you can see more examples in our case study database. It may be helpful to visit our resources. You can visit the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel, our case study samples, the advice from the jury document. And to wrap up, these are the main contacts. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. We're happy to help. And best of luck in this year's competition.